right, welcome to Spark and Trade with yours truly, Spark, and my boy Cash Money. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I think everyone's
Wonderful
good.
Tuesday today.
That's a fact. Definitely a good time to review some stocks. You want to go over the charts?
We had this, yeah. We had the CPI come out at 8:30 for anybody that didn't know. They expected a 6.2% of inflation, and we had a 6.4. So I mean, nothing too crazy, but yep.
For sure. So the first stock on the watch list, we're gonna get right into it. Not waste any time. We have CRWD. Cash, you want to take this one?
No, it's good. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm putting the daily and the 4-hour up because anybody tuning in with us, that's how we make our swing trade decisions on. We put the daily on the left side, we put the 4-hour on the right.
Left side. So yeah, most of the swing trades we talk about, we're trying to shoot for at least a month worth of time. Go ahead.
So what I'm seeing now is we just bounced off the money zone on the daily, basically telling us where institutions want to buy from, and that's why we see a white candle, meaning accumulation. Thing is, we're a little bit extended, telling us that we're on the around the pivot point, actually not extended, but at a point that we could pivot. I don't know why Siri's talking to me. My bad. But yeah, we just bounced off a pivot up into this deviation line that we came down from a couple days ago. So I'm either expecting us to reject from that level again, or we can start building afterwards. What we want to see is the next upcoming candles in the next days. See how price is going to start reacting off of this white candle. Same thing with the 4-hour. We're both bullish on each time frame, but we're just checking how we're going to react off this pivot point. And you got any input on it or no?
Yeah.
Zones, the prices you want to highlight?
Yeah, I like crowdsource. What target are you thinking about if this goes to the upside?
Man, if this goes to the upside, it could definitely hit like 140s.
Definitely
145, 150.
Yeah, it's definitely a good move. That would be great, actually. Making a move from 109 up to 145. The top of standard deviation 2 is all the way up at 181. It looks like a line that I drew up there from, way. I don't even know. I can't even recall like the time that I made that line. But the VWAP is directly below us. The 50 is directly below us. The money zone is directly below us on the daily. So, these are just high probability bounce zone. We came down, bounced off the daily money, bounced back up, got into this rejection zone up here. So we want to break that, take that out. That's the 118, 40 line. If we can take that out on both time frames, we could see a clear move to the upside there. So yeah, I like crowdsource. And we are bullish on that.
Yeah, we just came down. We just bounced from the standard -1 deviation. So price was dropping from all the way of September last year. It's just been dropping weekly. So we finally got a bounce area, and we're trying to see whether we're gonna beat this pivot and keep moving up, or if not, this pivot's gonna stay in play and force us back down, maybe do a double bottom or something like that. So it's a key area of this 115 level that you really want to keep an eye on.
All right, 100%.
They're holding above that. Going up. If not, then yeah.
Cool. Next stock I like to look at would be DoorDash. So when we pull that up, this kind of has like the opportunity to really pop away from this zone. The 41s being the lows. You have some demand turn supply right here at $64. But we did a nice little move, and we did come back down into possible bearish territory. Now, this stock is at standard deviation 1 on the daily and also correlates with the 4-hour over here with standard deviation 1. But I like it for a bull run until we see something that could really take us back down. Now, the only reason why I like that is because we had a nice move to the downside. We probably could see more room come down since we're at standard deviation 1, but if we can cross over this this gray line here, that's your 200 moving average. Looks like we took a swing here, came back down, bounced off the money zone, took another swing, came back down, bounced off the money zone. Now the market is extended here, so 68 might be like your real swing high into getting into possible like rejection territory. So I do think DoorDash is strong. It's a strong stock to possibly make the run up to standard deviation 2 on a daily up to 78. So we have 68 as a target, 78 as a target on DoorDash. We like the price action to the upside. We are stuck in a little bit of chop after pausing from this upward momentum. And we have some decent levels below us as support. We have VWAP. We have the money zone on the daily. And at this very moment, we do have the 50 HMA on the 4-hour. But most importantly, you don't want to see them break 57.20s. If they break this line here, you might get some move to the downside, and that standard deviation 1 will kick into effect. Now, DoorDash does have earnings coming out in about on Friday. Is that Thursday or Friday? I believe that's Thursday.
Tuesday afternoon, right? Or
yeah.
Like that.
So we do have earnings, and that can definitely shake the market depending on the numbers, if they beat it, et cetera, et cetera. And if we get that move, that will easily put us up there. So I do like DoorDash to the upside. We're currently below the 50 HMA on the 50. I don't like to see that, but we have a white candle bouncing at key levels here. This 58.40 is a key level that took us up to another rejection zone here, brought us down, took us up right back there. So it's a battle in between those two zones, and you kind of just want to be on the right side of that, or position yourself on for the potential move the best way that you can. Now I'm gonna say that like ideally you want it to be these guys as close to this demand line as possible. So we are a little bit away from that zone, but if you're gonna go up to 78, who cares about not catching an entry at 58 and catching an entry during the pullback, maybe even tomorrow in 60, right? So you miss it by $3 during down there. But more importantly, you got to think about your stops. And this is a monthly swing, so you got to give it some time. And you kind of want to get a decent contract when price pulls back so the calls can become deflated. But yeah, I like DoorDash to the upside, possible 68, 78 target. We start breaking below 57, you're going to get into some hairy price action to the downside. So we don't want to see that happen. So that's my analysis for DoorDash.
You want to look at a CRVL or AVGO?
CRVL. It's CRVL Corp.
Is that CRVL?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this one here, what you got?
So this one's quite extended. That's what I was thinking about for the first stock, but I got it mixed up. So this one did hit the standard deviation 2 a couple days ago. You saw that reaction come down. Okay. Now we're at the money zone again, where the institutions want to buy from, but we are below the 50-whole moving average, around in between the first and second deviations. So we do have a possibility of a breakdown to the VWAP.
It's actually between the third and second deviation. It's crazy, right, on the daily?
Yeah, so even more of a reason that I want to bring this. I want to see this come down. But like we said, this is where institutions will come and step in to buy time and time again. So if you do want to short this, you want to try to let it catch it at the highs around 191 to 188. If that does happen, you could start scaling into your shorts around there. That'll be the perfect area. Then you get be in profit all the way, if it goes back to where it is right now, 180, and then if we get a breakdown to that 159 where VWAP is, I mean, shit, you'll be up over like 400% on the contract.
It's a nice move.
That's the one thing. Key thing is risk management. Just check your entries, so you don't want to be getting into a trade and already defending, because then your emotions are going to go into it. This is definitely something that I want to see come down.
For sure. So that is CRVL. I like to take a look at Home Depot. Home Depot. All right. So Home Depot. I like Home Depot's price action during this long period of consolidation here. We do have a supply turn demand line right here at 316 40s level. And if you take a closer look on the 4-hour chart, you get to really see where these guys are stepping in and have the battle, right? So initially they came, pushed up into this 317 level, had a little back and forth. 317 defended itself, shot the market up to 347. They established a supply line up here at 338, brought the market back down, and then 311 came in. So that's really close to 317 where someone was buying before. They consolidate, shoot back up where someone was selling, not someone, but a person with a large purse was selling up here to bring the market back down. And then once again, we got up to 339 and they brought the market back down again. So if you wanted to keep in the spirit of just, price action and data, you would expect a bounce from this level. If it doesn't come, you can position yourself very close to this line already, 311. And if it rolls and decides to take a dive to another standard deviation level, which does have that high probability. Every time we get underneath this daily line, you can see a big move to the downside. But if you can get up, right, above this guy, then it's like lights out, right? We could probably test this 339 again. So that's a good move on Home Depot from 320s up to 339. And I probably think we can get to 343 once again to test this guy. But right now, if they do roll below 316, you might see a fall or the beginning of a fall back down to about the low 288. I won't even give it 269, but it is highly probable. It's not like, foreign. We basically go from standard deviation down here where we were at D2 at 269 and we made a move all the way up to S2, right? And that's just the oscillation that happens here. But sometimes they do pause at the pivot and decide to take another swing up here to go parabolic. So that's what I think could happen with Home Depot. And we've tested this area here, 335s a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And we've also tested these lows quite a few times. So, it's anyone's guess. I think the stock in itself has great potential. We don't have a major supply chain situation anymore, but we do have earnings coming up here, 221. So that might be a good catalyst, right? And you kind of want to play the move before earnings come out sometimes, which could run the stock up. So I like Home Depot to the upside, possible 343 level from this current 316 level. So that's a nice little bullish run there for you guys there on Home Depot. It is a great stock to watch.
Sure. Put AVGO there this time?
Which one?
AVGO.
AVGO.
Or
look at this bad boy.
So AVGO is sort of a subsidiary of a whole bunch of semiconductor companies. So, right? Am I right there?
Yes. Let me just double check that.
It is related to semiconductors. I just don't.
It's one of those like chip companies
combined, or.
Yeah, it's one of the chip maker companies.
Sure. So the main idea here, same thing as the CRVL that I was talking about earlier. It's extended. It's at the second deviation. It came down. As you can see with CRVL as well, we are below the 50 whole moving average. That dashed red line now, both the daily and the 4-hour, basically telling us that we could start seeing a trend switch. And this is basically the same idea as the last one. Make sure that you try to get, if you want to go short, which I'd recommend. You see all those yellow candles on the daily and on the 4-hour as well, telling us that we're overbought, especially with that overbought vertical sell band. Want to get price as close to the highs as possible so that you're not left defending your position the second you get in. But this could definitely, again, go back down to VWAP and hit the 546 level down there.
It was like 583.
I mean, it looks pretty probable to me.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's definitely extended. We get yellow candles, all the signals that will bring down the market. So that's what's up. I'd like to we're giving you guys.
Oh, I didn't anchor my view up like you did. My bad. But yeah, the 546 level is where I think it definitely hit after 570.
Got you. So yeah, we're giving you guys some treats. A lot of really great stocks to look at, to put on your watch list. These stocks have high ATRs. What's that?
You want to put BA up there before we sign off?
Yeah, I'm actually not thinking about signing off. I got like 2 more that I could talk about. BA, yeah. Let's take a look at this Boeing stock real quick. So this stock is in the overbought territory after a massive run up from 125. We basically climbed almost $100 up to 219, right? Like 221 is the high, and that literally happened today. And that's a great move. But at some point, these stocks do run out of steam. They do pause. They do consolidate to the side, and you got to think about where that area is. I think the max that this probably can go before really deciding to pull back is about 232, where this standard deviation 2 level is on the daily. It does have a lot of room on the 4-hour. So, if they can just keep doing some consolidation, they'll reset the standard deviation line a little bit. Not too much on the daily, but they would reset it a little bit, giving you the opportunity to possibly push up some more. But it is extended. If Home Depot can roll back below, say, the 200 moving average here, as you can see, we touched it, pushed away from it, bounced off VWAP, pushed away from it again after touching it, got a nice little bull flag, and now we broke out of that. So, I mean, I can't really call a short unless you kind of get below 217.40s. But, I mean, I could. But I think if you wanted to be safe, since we did move up, a position to the downside is not unlikely to come back to at least, 170s over the next month or so if we do get into a nice little bear market or a reset of this move, right? Like, it is extended. This overbought band brought the market down a little bit, but we just want to see that kind of, it can go either way. I'd probably give it a touch of 230s, and then after that you probably might see some reaction away from that zone, but it is very far away from the 200 moving average on the daily, and on the 4-hour we could see moves back down to, like 200, and if that breaks 191, if that breaks 177. So I'm calling a bearish for the next couple of weeks over for Boeing. The airline companies. Yeah. I'm going to take a look at something else. I like Etsy. Etsy had a nice little run up. We probably missed the pullback. So this hit standard deviation like kind of 1.5, right? Like the middle between 1 and 2. It still has room to the upside. However, when things get underneath this 50 HMA, I like to call the short possibly down to a level that it could bounce off of. If we would have called this level at 133, we came all the way down to like 114, right? So that was way back last year in December. We had a nice little bull run since the beginning of the year, and when we broke this line again just now, we had a nice move from the 140 level down to 128. So a good little $12 there. And it's gonna. What's that?
You thinking it made the move sort of back down a pivot?
I think
see a little bit consolidation right now.
I think Etsy has the potential to run until the summertime. 160 is a good target. This stock is not a bad stock. I mean, at one point it was way up there at like, I think 200, 300. If we go back a little bit more, let's go 3 years. Yeah, 307. So this upward move could start the bullish run that it had back here, and it just keeps going, right? Like, but it has to check in with the warden every once in a while to pull back. So we're only calling something for a month. Let's go back to the daily. I say since we're up here at S1 and we already pull back down a little bit, I would look for bounces around 120 to continue to the upside and possibly go up to 160. on Etsy, but that's definitely a stock to watch after this down move. We do have some demand lines down here that could potentially start the race off right now. 132 is a good zone. All right, so that's Etsy. You want to talk about Airbnb?
Put Amazon.
Amazon.
AMZN. Yeah, Amazon. You can see on the daily it hit a little bit above the first deviation on the positive side to one yellow candle, and that was the same day they had their earnings. They came crashing down from 114 to $99 where they're currently at. I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce. If as you see, they did cross the 50-hole moving average on both time frames and the money zone, so that zone where you see institutions buy from. I feel like that was just a whole reaction from the earnings play. But yeah, we could see a bounce try to reach up these highs back up to like 110 again, or maybe that 50 hole at 105 before we start moving down again. Or yeah, what you thinking? Thinking along those lines, or?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like Amazon always as a stock to kind of buy the dip, and you just never really know if you're catching the right dip, but you can definitely position yourself in a way to kind of get in, take advantage of a move, get out if it doesn't work out, and then just reposition yourself, and then all of a sudden that minor loss that you took ends up coming back really, really strong. So I would not bet against Amazon. That's just one of those stocks that I'm not really a fan of betting against. And we are above the 200 moving average. We made that crossover sometime in January, had that nice bullish run up.
On the 4 hour, right?
Yeah, on the 4 hour. On the daily, that line, that target is about 110, and I think that's a fair price. I mean, huh?
That's where we rejected from.
Yeah, about 113, 114. So if we can get back above 110 on the daily, that's when you might see the power run up, and we could get into a nice bullish phase there. Will it happen in a month?
Sure.
I don't know, but we have VWAP to support us, so it's not a bad zone to try to take or starts to scale into the play, right? Like to build that position. So I do like Amazon to the upside.
It's nice that the VWAP is there. If you drop a fib, this usually happens a lot. If you drop a fib, that's at the 50% right there. And yeah, if you zoom out a little bit, you can see this thing's been downtrending for a minute now, just like most of the market. But yeah, we hit that bottom, and I mean, if you're looking for a bullish pullback, right on VWAP is probably one of the nicest things you get right now, unless we go all the way down that deviation down there.
Definitely.
But yeah, you want to see price definitely react in the next couple days throughout this week, and that could definitely give you a good idea of where the stock's gonna go.
For sure.
But just highlight that zone. Make sure you put that zone on your chart so you can see it leaving, and you have your targets of either when it leaves to below or definitely above to keep rallying, because you don't want to be you don't want to be left holding not holding Amazon when this thing starts rallying.
For real. Will be another Tesla stock where you go from a $1.04 up to 200 in like a few days. So we do have possibly some more stocks. We can talk about stocks all day, but those will be some decent stocks to watch based on the fact that they're at great standard deviation levels, whether it be extended or they've taken too much of a dump, or they're trending and possibly could continue trend at key pivot levels. And we talked about them. Keep them on your watch list. We'll come back, review them, and we'll see what happened. But thanks for watching. It's your boy Spark, Cash Money here, and those are your stock picks from Spark and Trade.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Peace out, guys.